Hello and welcome to today's briefing. I'm Dana and I'm joined by Matt. We're covering a range of stories from politics to economy and sports. Let's start with the latest developments in the Middle East. The U.S. military attacked Iran on Friday in response to an Iranian drone strike on a cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz. Each country has accused the other of violating a ceasefire agreed upon last week.
That's a significant escalation. What were the specific targets of the U.S. strikes, according to the reports?
The U.S. Central Command said aircraft struck missile and drone storage locations and coastal radar sites in Iran. They later published a video of an explosion labeled as unclassified.
So the U.S. is clearly responding to Iran's actions, but how did Iran react to these airstrikes?
Iran launched a drone assault targeting Bahrain, and a ship in the Strait of Hormuz was also attacked. This is likely seen as Tehran's response to the U.S. airstrikes.
That's a dangerous tit-for-tat situation. What's the context of this ceasefire that both countries are accusing each other of violating?
The ceasefire was agreed upon last week, apparently in an effort to reduce tensions between Washington and Tehran. However, the details of what it entails are not entirely clear from the reports.
It seems like a fragile peace deal. Have there been any diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation?
The reports don't mention specific diplomatic efforts, but it's clear that the situation remains volatile. The back and forth between the U.S. and Iran is concerning.
Absolutely. Let's move on to another political story. President Trump has nominated Lance Schroyer, a former Oklahoma State trooper, as the next director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. What do we know about Schroyer's background?
Schroyer has over 29 years of law enforcement experience, having served as an Oklahoma State trooper and a U.S. Marine. Trump described him as a patriot with experience dealing with the worst of the worst.
That's quite a background. How might his experience as a state trooper influence his approach to leading ICE?
It's likely that his law enforcement experience will shape his priorities at ICE, potentially focusing on strict enforcement and deportation efforts, given Trump's administration policies.
That makes sense. The nomination is subject to approval, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Let's switch gears to some economic news.
Kotak Mahindra Bank CEO Ashok Vaswani has announced that he will step down at the end of his term on December 31, 2026, citing personal reasons. What's the context around his decision?
The bank's board has initiated a CEO succession process, considering internal candidates. Investors are likely watching this closely, given Vaswani's tenure and the bank's performance.
Leadership stability is crucial for investors. Are there any indications of who might succeed Vaswani?
The reports mention Paritosh Kashyap and Anup Saha as internal contenders. The board is expected to complete the succession process within regulatory timelines.
That's a relatively smooth transition plan. Let's discuss another economic story. SpaceX is set to join the NASDAQ 100 index on July 7th. What are the implications of this move?
This inclusion is expected to attract billions in passive investment. NASDAQ has relaxed its entry criteria, making it easier for companies like SpaceX to join major indices.
So, this is a significant development for SpaceX. How might this affect the stock's valuation?
Some analysts express concerns about SpaceX's valuation, despite the positive sign of demand. The S&P 500 maintains stricter entry rules, so SpaceX won't be joining that index just yet.
That's an interesting dynamic. Let's move to some other news.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah has launched Bharat Taxi, a cooperative sector taxi service across several Gujarat cities. What's the aim of this initiative?
The initiative aims to combat the exploitation of drivers and users by private companies. Drivers associated with Bharat Taxi are considered owners and shareholders.
That's an innovative cooperative model. How does it plan to expand beyond Gujarat?
The reports mention plans to expand Bharat Taxi to 125 cities and 30 major urban centers. It's a significant expansion plan.
Let's discuss some sports news now.
France forward Ousmane Dembélé scored a first-half hat-trick in their 4-1 win over Norway at the World Cup. What were the highlights of this match?
Dembele's goals came in the 7th, 20th, and 32nd minutes. It was the first-half hat-trick at the World Cup. Kylian Mbappé assisted one of his goals.
That's impressive. How does this performance impact France's standings?
France won the match 4-1, which should help them significantly in the tournament standings.
Let's move to another sports story. Cape Verde has become the smallest country to reach the World Cup knockout round after a 0-0 draw against Saudi Arabia. What's the significance of this achievement?
Cape Verde finished second in their group with 3 consecutive draws. This is their World Cup debut, making it a historic achievement.
That's remarkable. What's the reaction been like from the Cape Verde team and fans?
The reports highlight the improbable nature of their run and the pride in being the smallest country to achieve this feat.
That's great to see underdog stories in sports. Let's cover one more story.
A 6.1 magnitude earthquake hit northeast Afghanistan, with tremors felt in Delhi. What's the latest on the impact of this earthquake?
There are no immediate reports of damage or casualties. The earthquake originated in a seismically active zone, and tremors were felt in nearby regions.
That's a relief that there haven't been any reported casualties. Let's wrap up today's briefing.
That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.